Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to ZenHD. Today we'll be continuing our prison. We're gonna start by recruiting some confidential informants. And the confidential informants have been playing somewhat of a key role in making sure that the prison stays clean. It's about midday, and most of the prisoners are working. Since we last left off, we've actually done a little bit of some work in finishing the minimum security wing. For the most part, the cell blocks are pretty much done. We have a canteen available for the prisoners. The only thing that we have left to do is the surrounding area, which I'm still debating on what to put in. Again, you have to sort of, take into consideration the prisoner's needs. And in the meantime, I'm also trying to expand out. Uh, I'm thinking of making this empty area for now as a new relocation place for the protective custody prisoners. Each cell block will basically house about 16 uh, prisoners, which is exactly what I have currently, and it'll just uh, double the amount of prisoners that I can actually house. And in doing that, I was actually thinking of maybe splitting off the yard here, so that way uh, the protective custody prisoners can have their own designated yard, and that way they don't have to, mingle with the other prisoners. Um, usually when that happens, they, the prisoners sort of tend to attack them. So it's good to keep them separate. So let's just take a look just to see if we see any potential security risks. We're basically looking for any snitches or ex-law enforcement. Strange enough, I haven't seen that many instigators. So I did start one cell block here, which is pretty much completed. I think I will model uh, the canteen the same way. Uh, and I'll use the clone tool to just copy. But yeah, it sort of does this thing. There we go. And pretty much the canteen is done. Uh, let's lock this open. So what I'm thinking of doing is making just like blocks of services. Like I think this block here I'll just convert into all parole offices over here. For this line of offices, I'll convert them all to psychiatric offices. Actually, we can do that now. So let's just check out the deployment just to make sure that there's an officer in those offices during the time of them, speaking with the prisoner. So we'll go into the deployment schedule. See, this is the red is the time when they're eating. So as you can see from here, from the green, we have officers deployed. But since, everybody will be in the canteen, uh, those officers are pulled from those particular locations to be used elsewhere. And then when it goes back to the green, as you can see, the officers are again stationed back. So yeah, that should be pretty much good. However, and this deployment scheduler is very useful, especially when you're trying to manage the number of officers that are at your disposal. If they're not needed in a particular place at a specific time, you can just remove them, and they'll be used somewhere else where they're actually needed. Alright, so I think that's good. We'll remove this particular object, room. And we'll relocate this guy. Okay, so yeah, it takes time for them to sort of, I guess, for the game to render and recognize that this is actually an office. So the other psychologist has moved out. We'll have to wait until the other office, I guess, renders through. And in the meantime, we will remove all of this stuff from this office. Alright, so we'll wait until they pack everything up. And we'll add the last visitor table, which is needed to complete the parole office. And, this will basically allow the prisoners more opportunities to, be released early. And again, that's where you can make some money uh, through, your prisoners being released early. I believe you get like about 3 grand for each prisoner that is basically accepted through that process. And as you can see as well, we have 33 prisoners up for parole. So, only I had only about 3 offices. So, adding these 2 more offices will increase those opportunities, which will be nice for them and for me as well. And wow, the those guys work pretty fast. So that's good. All we have to do is uh start with the plumbing and the lighting. So we'll add the electrical cables. And we'll go with large pipe here. So everyone is sleeping at the moment. And in the meantime, we'll activate one of our confidential informants. Uh, if you guys don't already know, I use the confidential informants quite a bit, um, pretty much every day. Uh, in between the times that I do an entire shakedown. If there's the shakedown should only be used, if there's a really high concentration of weapons and drugs that need to be removed immediately, then, obviously the shakedown is a great way to use, uh, a great way to get rid of those things. But in between those days that, you don't really need to do a shakedown, but you still want to, maintain a relatively clean prison. You can use the confidential informants. They weed out all of those things that may sort of slip past the metal detectors and, you know, uh, the canines and all of that stuff. So, he's gonna be uh, basically escorted into the security office, and we'll see what is available to us. And in the meantime, we will take another look to see if there's any snitches or any ex-law enforcement or any instigators that may have popped up, which I don't see. And yeah, there's a constant reminder of what happens when you miss those things. So yeah, the prison looks relatively clean, or free for now. And I sort of deployed him or activated him a little late than I usually would like. Usually I like to do it like right when they are sent to bed. Alright, so he's in there, and let's see what he shows us. So we have booze, not a big deal, but that needs to be removed. We'll search that prisoner's cell. Let's see, we have a fork here. Potentially dangerous. Well, we'll search his cell. Whoa, okay. So we have booze. What else we have? Alright, drugs. We need to get rid of this. Let's just check up on his suspicion. So we have two more. Or one more. So we'll search his cell and that'll be done. Let's see, we have, alright, one, two. So here's a little neat trick that I use because I don't want to blow my confidential informants in cover. So I will deactivate them. Alright. Alright, so he is deactivated. He will be sent back to his cell. As you can see, they found the drugs that were hidden in that prisoner's cell. Now, we did see booze in these two cells, so we will search them. And somebody got tased. I wonder what was that about? And those prisoners, as you can see, were not using the confidential informant. However, those things can still be found after the confidential informant has been deactivated. And it won't go against his suspicion. So everyone's headed to the shower now. Ah, we have an instigator. And we will put him in protective custody. Alright, and as always, we'll get our daily intake of prisoners. We don't have any potential prisoners to put in protective custody, so that's good. And again, I do like to separate my instigators as well because those guys will, rouse everybody up, and I rather just keep them, suppressed and separate from the rest of the population. Alright, danger level is rising, but and everyone is eating, which is good. Alright, so one thing I didn't really cover was the programs. And we may need to create some more programs because we installed these uh, parole offices. So we'll go into programs and let's see if we have anything available. Alright, so alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so we have 5 for the 6 a.m. slot and the 10 a.m. slot. Now we'll start again to create 2 more. Okay, actually I think it did it automatically, which is nice. Alright, so we have 5 slots, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 5 slots for the 2, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 5 slots for the 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. And as you can see, there's officers in there who are being deployed. And these officers are going into this particular office, which is good. Alright, so we have officers where they are needed. And I guess we'll leave it here. I hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay. We're gonna be definitely, trying to expand a little bit more. And hopefully on the next one we can, actually relocate these prisoners to their new location for the time being. Um, and until next time, as always. Be kind to one another and be true to yourself. I will see you on the next episode. Take care, guys.